Hi, my name is Daniela Manrique and I'm a student at the International Culinary School of the Art Institute for Lauderdale. Today I'm going to be making for you a very special dish called chicken merengue. First I'm going to start by heating my pan, my saute pan, and adding some oil. Just regular vegetable oil is fine. And you want to add enough just so the chicken is halfway into the oil. Then, to avoid cross-contamination, you always want to use your gloves when you're handling like raw foods. Then I'm going to take my chicken and I'm going to drench it in flour. You can always season the flour with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then you always want to shake off the excess flour here. And then do the same thing. I'm using, in this case, dark meat and white meat. And since my flour is already seasoned, I don't need to add more seasoning to it. Then once I have them all ready, then I'm going to add it to my pan. Try to always put the meat facing away from you. That way you don't get the oil splash into you. And I'm going to do the same thing with my chicken breast, facing away from me. You want to make sure the pan is nice and hot, but not too hot, because then you're going to burn it and that's going to be a disaster. You want to wait until it gets to a light golden color. And after that, we're going to remove it from the pan. Now that my chicken is brown on both sides, a nice golden brown, we're going to remove it from the pan to start making our sauce. You want to keep it someplace where it's warm. In this case, I'm going to put it in the oven at very low heat. You don't want to cook it right now. You just want to place it so it keeps warm while we make our sauce. Now, you don't want the flame too high so you don't burn your other ingredients. And I'm going to start with my garlic. And I'm going to put my garlic in. Then I have my shallots, which I've cut really nice in small dice. Then I'm also going to add some mushrooms, which is one of the components of this dish. And you want to start, make sure you don't want to burn them, make sure they're nice and caramel. Okay. Now, you want to always deglaze this, well, in this recipe you want to deglaze with your wine. And you want to make sure that you want to leave it cooking for a little bit because you want to make sure that all the alcohol from the wine has been evaporated. That way we're just left with the flavor. So you want to leave it. What's interesting about this dish is that it's actually, I always thought it was a French dish, but it's actually an Italian dish from North Italy, which the French took over and then over the dish, and now it's a French dish. Now I'm going to add my tomatoes and some veal stock. And always season with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Fresh ground pepper is good. It's always better because you have all those oils still left in there. Okay. Now what you want to do is add your chicken back into the dish, into the pan. And once they're nice, submerged in there in the liquid, you're going to put it in the oven. Now that my chicken is cooking, I'm going to start showing you guys how to do the garnish for this dish. First, we're going to start with an egg. It's going to be a fried egg. So I always like to crack my eggs in a bowl before I ever do anything with them because we never know if it's good, if it's bad, how it is. So here I have my cracked egg. I'm going to turn on my burner over here. Not too hot, like, medium to low heat. And then I actually have here a ring mold. And I'm going to put my egg into the ring mold. That way it stays nice and round. Okay, so I just put the egg into my pan to fry. And now I'm going to start with my shrimp. I have water boiling over here. You always want to season it first with a little bit of salt. That way that gets into the shrimp. And now I'm gonna add my shrimp. Shrimp usually takes like 1 to 2 minutes to cook, not more than that, because then it's gonna be rubbery. So while my shrimp, I'm gonna actually take my shrimp out, a different bowl. Make sure you never wanna put your cooked product where the raw product was before. So if you see, the shrimp is turning nice and pink, which is a good thing. And now I wanna take them out into my bowl. And you want to make sure you keep it in a nice and warm place in my oven. Now that my egg is done frying, I'm going to take it out of the ring mold and into a plate and keep it nice and warm also. Here's the ring mold. And then you can just slide it. Usually it's better if you use a Teflon pan. That way it doesn't get stuck into the pan. And it's easier to take out. I'm going to put it in my warmer so I can check on my chicken, because I'm sure it's been a while and it's probably done. Okay, still cooking. You want to make sure that most of the liquid has been reduced, but you still want to keep it sauce consistency, where you get a little bit on the plate. Now I'm going to work on my bread. Actually, what I've done here traditionally, the bread that is used as a garnish in this dish is cut into the shape of a heart. You can do this by getting cookie cutters. It's very easy that way. Or if you don't have cookie cutters, you can take your knife, a little paring knife, a small one, and actually carve out the shape of the heart. Then you take your bread. You want to take a pan and put a little bit of melted butter in it. Heat it up. And you actually want to just lightly toast it on both sides. I take mine. So while my bread is toasting, now I want to check on my chicken. And if you're not sure when the chicken is done or not, you always want to have a thermometer and check that the temperature is the right temperature for the chicken, which is 155. Now I'm going to put it in my cutting board, both pieces. And return the pan here. And now I'm going to slice the chicken breast, so it's easier for you to eat when you're serving it, and also for presentation. So you want to make sure you have a slicer, or any knife is really fine. And you always want to slice on an angle. You don't want to slice straight down. And here we go. And 4. All right, this little guy's extra. And now for plating, you want to place your leg first, and then your chicken afterwards in front. And then don't forget you have all your garnishes and your sauce. You want to always spoon a little bit on top of the chicken. And then all the other components. Here was my fried egg, which goes right on top. Let's not forget the shrimp that was in the oven. You can put 2 to 3 shrimps, it's okay. And after that, of course, how could we forget our bread. Now to give it some color, some green, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley on top. And here you got it. This is chicken moringa.